What are your key priorities for UN Women and what are the challenges?
Well, the key priorities are particularly in empowering women, and we're talking about giving them more economic autonomy through economical empowerment. And that means from workers, SMEs, microfinance, and to more women at the corporate sector. Second is political empowerment. We believe that in terms that the needs and concerns of women are really taken into consideration, we need more female at parliamentary level, but also in all decision-making levels, at governments, national, regional, or local governments. Third, ending violence against women, of course, is so important. And we'll continue working on that, trying to bring men championing for women's rights. And fourth, it will be women at the heart of the peace and security agenda. That speaks about Security Council Resolution 1325, how we not only respond to women who are victimized by the wars or conflicts or conflict, but also how we have the more presence of women in the peace talks, in the peace building process, in the peace making processes, because they can be a very important agent of peace. Of course, we will do everything through national capacity building in terms of national planning, in terms of national budgeting, and in terms also of being able to develop the capacity on gender disaggregated data so we can really measure progress. All of this is very important. There are other areas that are crucial, essential, like education, health, migration, and so on. So we will be working on many other issues, but we will be doing through building partnership with other agencies who are the leading ones. Our challenges is many challenges. First of all, to be able to respond to the huge expectations that the new entity has developed, because everybody is expecting lots of outcomes yesterday, everybody wants much more. And there's so much need. Second big challenge is to be able to deliver in a good way, to produce the best outcomes in all these areas. And also the third big challenge is to change mindsets, change culture, because many of the reason, in many places of the world, one of the reasons is a culture that sees women as citizens of second class. So we need to show the capacity to be civilized women, and also to help on these cultural changes. And fourth, of course, to be able to do all of that, we need funding, because there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot that we can do in terms of economical empowerment that needs a little help from ourselves.
How can women become more involved in political decision making?
Well, I think, first of all, it's one of the things that every country had to look at it and think on how it can, because it's not easy for women usually, because there are so many obstacles. Because even in societies like the UK, there is the economy of care situation which is not solved in a way that permits women to have more time for doing other things. So every time a child gets ill, the ones who stays at home is a woman, or if they have a disabled member of the family, or an elder member of the family. So I think in countries like, even in developed countries, we need to look at economy of care, how we can better reconcile the private life and public life of women, how we can find support capacity in terms of childcare, in terms of disabled care, in terms of elderly care. So it's not all in the back, like a new backpack on women's shoulder. So I think that's one issue. But not only for political, but for any reason, for quality of life, if I may say, that it should be more reconciled, men and women's responsibility in the society. Second, I would believe political parties, they should try to attract more female, but also, I would say, helping them in terms of developing political capacity skills, leadership training, and so on. But also it means that the parties have to be able or to want to share, more power, and because in opening political space to women is sharing power. And I truly believe that women can make a huge contribution to politics, because usually women, when they're involved in something, they're more involved with the mission than for power itself. And I think constituencies, the public, want to see politicians involved in what matters to them, and not sometimes they look at politicians like discussing things that won't improve their lives. So I truly believe it's not only good that the political parties open space to women. I also believe it is an opportunity for the for politics to open space to women in bringing fresh air, if I may say, fresh ideas, new contents, but also, why not, new kinds of leadership. And I think that's also a very good way of contributing for a stronger democracy and bigger governance. I'm so convinced of that.